Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covers. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now,
Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
number four, armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I am your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Monday. You know what that means. It's Impact Zone Day. We are going to sit down and talk about Impact Zone. Notice I said we. I'm not flying solo for the first time in a couple of weeks. Everyone's abandoning Impact, and so I got my good friend from Perth, Mr. Mysterious, has jumped on board. How you doing, man?
Felt going pretty well. It felt like the best thing to do just to give you a little bit of backup and show my support, helping you in your quest to keep recapping Impact.
See, this is the cycle with Impact Cast, with Impact Zone Cast, whatever we call it. I forget what we call it. Impact Zone. This is the cycle with Impact Zone.
Mhm.
New person comes on, is really hyped for the first 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, they're like, oh, this is kind of not as good as I thought because, you know, Impact kind of struggle longer term. Like, it was really good for a couple of months, and then it sort of fell off. And then they get annoyed with it, and then they're like, can't make it one time because of something in life, which I'm not saying that that they're lying either. Jay, Aiden legitimately have life stuff come up, and then it's a struggle to get back into it.
Mhm.
So I'm very curious to see. I'm very curious to see what you think of the show overall before we start.
I actually didn't mind it now. I've actually I watched last week's episode as well just to get myself a bit more perspective, because the last time I watched TNA Impact was about 5 years ago. It's around about the time that Aces and Eights were large and in charge. Bully Ray was the Impact champion, and Greg was looking for a little bit of inspiration to keep going with Impact, and I thought, yeah, I'll have a check and see what it's like now. And like last week, I admit I was a bit worried coming into this latest episode, but no, I actually thought they definitely improved with a lot of things that they did.
Yeah. It feels that way. It does. It always feels that way to start with. I'm gonna be curious to see how you feel in a month's time or 2 months' time. How you're feeling about things.
Sure.
Before we get into the actual show as well, we'll talk about some of the news. It's normally quite quiet on the home front with Impact, but this week they've done a lot of signing, re-signing, letting go. So first up, the bad news: Caleb Conley has moved on. No surprise there, to be honest with you. He's been completely misused. He was kind of just a jobber. So, you know, Trevor Lee's gone, and the cult of Lee leaving behind him, which is not surprising at all. Then we get a bunch of re-signings. So Fala Bar was one. Help me out here. I know you've been covering them for all the rest.
I have.
Josh Alexander's a new signing, brother. We're talking about the re-signings.
Okay.
Fala Bar, Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan,
Rosemary.
have all re-signed, and then the new signings we're looking at, as you said, Josh Alexander
and Ace Austin.
Ace Austin has signed, and he's a hot young talent. He's been everywhere doing the weird gambit thing that he does. But the biggest news, of course, just 24 hours after announcing her release from Women of Honor, Madison Rayne, Mama Rayne,
the Queen
is back in Impact. Yeah, it's amazing. I I wasn't a big fan of what she was doing in Ring of Honor. It felt like she was languishing. The Women of Honor division feels forgotten half the time. So
I'd say that's
I'm
about
very
right,
happy. Yeah, I'm very happy to see her showing up in Impact again. I'm keen for that.
Of course, like her husband Josh Matthews on commentary, so and former Knockouts champion, Knockout Tag Team champion. It's good to see her back.
Yeah. They acknowledge that they're married within the universe, but then they don't. Like, there's weird things. Like, so the last time we saw her, she was put into the coffin and transported to the undead realm, right?
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they bring her back on TV. It was funny, though, because in their Twitch video to announce it. Did you watch the Twitch video?
No, I didn't. I just saw the new.
Okay. Yeah, so I watched the Twitch video. Like, I got a notification that Impact was live, and I was like, "Oh, is this Impact?" And I know it's a Twitch video with them in their car driving and announcing that she's re-signed, and they're on their way to a show. And yeah, he's like, "I haven't seen you in months. Like, the last time I saw you, you were put into a casket, and like, there's been no one to clean the house." She's like, "Why didn't you just clean the house?" And it was like really lame, but kind of funny. But this is the weird thing with them is so when. Like, we know that they're married, and then when she's getting put into a casket and transported to the undead realm, he's just sitting at the commentary desk like, what's going on? Can we get someone out here? What's, like, do something, bruh. Do something.
Show a little bit more care and affection for your wife.
He wasn't even, like, highly emotional. He wasn't even like, oh my god, this is the worst thing that's ever happened on Impact. He was just like, yeah, carrying on. Next match is... you know, it's really fucking awkward. But, yes, I'm interested to see what they do with Mama Rain, because we are big fans of Mama Rain here at the Impact Zone. Absolutely. And with that, let's go to Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. That was my New Day impression. It's the wrong show.
I was going to say Tommy Dreamer had a very similar impression when he came out at the start as well.
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Show starts with Willie Mack versus Jake Christ. Jake Christ is great. He's underrated. He does the mini draw. So Jake Christ is one of the OVE guys. I'm going to give you backgrounds and stuff.
Sure.
He's one of the OVE guys. And OVE, of course, is Sami Callihan's stable here.
Yes.
And he's the mini draw. So when they do their group promos and stuff, he's like hanging in the background behind Sami Callihan, like mimicking every single movement that Sami Callihan makes.
Okay, he's a good soldier.
Yeah, but like, no, so like Sami Callihan will point at the camera, and in the background, Jake Christ is pointing in the exact same way. And then when you watch them in the ring, I don't know if you noticed this or if it's just because I know he's the mini draw, so I'm looking for it. He moves like Sami Callihan. Like, and he never used to.
Okay.
Right? Before they became OVE, when they were, I can't remember what their tag team name was before OVE, but they've wrestled everywhere. They've wrestled like PWG and stuff, and he never moved like, but now he moves like Sami Callihan. I'm a bit worried he might be putting on a little bit of weight too. There's a certain limit to what you want to do to imitate Sami Callihan, but I really enjoy Jake Christ. What do you think of this match?
I thought it was a great opener. Like, it's not often that you just start cold open with a match like that. I love Willie Mack. Willie Mack is one of those stars. Of course I cover NWA where he's the national champion. Just like, he has such a versatile offense where everything you think he's going to do, he completely reverses it into some new kind of like flip or dive or drop. And
yeah, he has the best cannonball in the business. In
absolutely.
Because he does it reverse, right? So he jumps on them and then backflips out of it, which I think a lot of people consider Headhunter Rig here in Australia. His cannonball is a thing of beauty because it's almost like a Swanton Bomb cannonball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that one, but we've got to put the two gifts up and let people vote on who has the best cannonball.
We'll get on it.
Yeah. I'll get Ozrez gifts to do it because he's going to be better at that stuff than me. Anyway, yeah, so Willie Mack, basically the story of this match, Willie Mack's athleticism and, Dave Christ gets involved. It was a very short match, but these matches do. That's the thing with Impact that you'll learn is they start off with a hot match.
Okay.
Regularly. It's the best thing about Impact is the opening match.
All right, and I don't think it really gave Jake Christ a chance to just because I know he's probably very much of a high flyer because he's booked for the United We Stand multi-promotional match. So
yeah. Anyway, the Willie Mack's athleticism was really the story of the match, and Dave Christ gets involved, pushes Willie Mack off the top rope, and OVE come in and beat him down, and then in comes Tommy Dreamer for the save. They're giving ECW chance, by the way. So
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer's coming out to save Willie Mack, who is a House of Hardcore guy, right?
You would think they would, yeah.
Bro, I just turned into Vince Russo. Bro, your promotion has been around for 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years?
Yeah.
I don't even know how long House of Hardcore's been around. It's been around for a long, long-ass time at this point. And it's toured the globe, House of Hardcore. And you're still getting ECW chance, even when you're coming out to save someone who was never in ECW, but is very much associated with House of Hardcore. You're doing your promotion wrong, bro.
But I think that's more just the fans. Like they were, I don't know if they were muted in some parts, but they seemed very quiet and just like, oh hey, like we remember this guy from ECW.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I wonder if they got to see the Glenn Gilberti stuff. if they remember Disco. So anyway, it turns into a tag match. At which point, to be honest with you, I kind of tuned out a little. The Tommy Dreamer just doesn't do it for me anymore, man.
Yeah, I will say it's a lot better when he's a very like solid tag partner, as long as his whoever he's teaming up with has a bit more fast paced offense. So he's good backup, but in terms of him as an individual, it's just you kind of check the channels and see what else is going on.
Yeah, which is not what you want. You want. But yeah, so what I don't know why Dreamer's here. I know he's back to do creative with the company.
Yes,
but I don't think he needs to be getting in the ring, to be honest with you.
No, and I think with a lot of the Impact's stars moving on to WWE's producers and all of their big names, like it would be nice to see him in a more managerial role, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. The stuff he did with Eddie Edwards a while back was pretty good. He was kind of like a mentor and friend in an Eddie Edwards storyline that kind of shat the bed. But it was he was part of Eddie's mental health breakdown, and then he ended up in an actual mental hospital playing chess with Raven. So these are the things you've missed. Moving on from there, Dreamer and Mac pick up the win.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, the investigative reporter from last week is back. I can't remember his name, something Alvarez, I think. I don't know if that's a shot at Brian Alvarez. I don't know. But yeah, investigative reporter, he's back, and he's like, oh, you're just giving out title matches. Can I have a title match?
I can't imagine if like Johnny actually said yes, if how much he would have crapped himself. Like,
I think Moose nailed Johnny Impact later in the show, but
yeah.
We'll get to that. So Johnny, you've watched a couple of weeks here. You agree with me, you said, right? On our Discord, which people can get to if they sign up on Patreon and become one of our lovely Patreon backers. At the $3 level, you'll get lifetime access. This is something you don't realize. If you sign up for 1 month, right, you're going to get lifetime access to the Discord anyway, okay? And then you'll be in the Discord forever, even if you don't renew, but you will renew because you'll love us and you'll enjoy all the extra content you get. So patreon.com/the B+ if you want to get into the Discord, where you would have heard a week ago that Mr. Mysterious watched and agreed with me that Johnny Impact is a fucking heel, dude.
Yeah, last week they want us to cheer for him, and just he's giving off all the wrong vibes. Like as much as like with Killer Cross and Moose, they're trying to paint them as like the bad guys, but no, like they're really making a lot more sense than Johnny is these days. And
yeah, especially Killer Cross.
Yes, very much so.
Because Killer Cross doesn't really cheat all that much. He's just kind of a big badass dude.
He's a bit deranged, and because of that, people think that he's a bit untrustworthy. But no, I think he's speaking the truth.
Yeah, well, the thing is too, people will get into that. People get into deranged, you know. People don't get into liars and cowards, which is kind of what Johnny Impact is anyway. So yeah, he makes some more excuses, claims that he's a fighting champion, but no buts, buddy. You're either a fighting champion or you're not, and you're not at all. We move on. KM and Fallah Bahh have a match against Reno Scum. Pretty even match, which for Reno Scum's return, you'd want it to be more one-sided, I guess, but I mean, Fallah Bahh's re-signed. They're big on Fallah Bahh, so, you know, they end up winning, which I thought was an odd choice. Cool move, though, the toss from the top into the Samoan drop.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and then Reno Scum do a post-match beatdown.
I will say I did like the promo with KM and Fallah Bahh afterwards, like just the fact that only KM can understand what Fala Bar is trying to translate. Like that made me laugh.
So you don't speak bar either?
No, I don't.
Jay tried to sign me up for bar classes. He told me that I would like Fala Bar a lot more if I could understand him. But yeah, alas, I have been very vocal about not being a big Fala Bar fan.
Okay.
I believe "fuck Fala Bar" was a running phrase in the early days of the Impact Zone podcast. He has grown on me. He has gotten better as well.
Okay.
They did the stupid panda roll gimmick in this match though.
Yeah,
but,
I thought that was a bit odd.
Yeah, he's done less of the panda roll shit lately and done more of the, diving off the apron and, hitting people with his big ass belly, like classic big guy stuff.
Yeah.
And he's been a lot better. I've enjoyed him more. And that promo from KM and Fala Bar after this match was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Just super. So they got beat down. Then later in the show, there's a couple more segments. But yeah, they have a promo about, they'd been climbing the ranks for 2 years and the Reno scum just disappear and then try to make a name at our expense.
Mm-hmm.
And Bar's just like, bah, bah. And he was like actually scary.
Yes, he was.
That's what you want. Most of the time when they do these things, so you haven't been here for this. Most of the time it's like, bah, bah. And they play it off for comedy. Like,
okay,
no, Bar, you can't say that to Scarlett. That's very inappropriate, Like, they play it off for comedy. They were trying to date Scarlett for a while. It hasn't been good, but this one was amazing. I agree with you. I really enjoyed that promo. It's the most I've ever cared about Fala Bar.
So coming at a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. But before that, we had Glenn Gilberti looking for the management office. Ethan Page has no idea who he is. And he's like, I'm the new ass to kiss around here. I don't know why, but that line just had me in stitches throughout the entire night.
All Ego might need to reconsider that one.
Because Glenn Gilberti's come in, he's been hired.
Yes.
And he thinks he's going to be some big shot. He thinks he's going to be like head of creative or something. Mm-hmm. And he's just going to be a shit kicker who runs errands for people. And so he's walking around telling people like, it's my first day and I'm the new ass to kiss around here. Like, I'm the big guy. You gotta make me happy. And it's completely the opposite. And they play it for comedy. And this was actually the kind of comedy that I kind of enjoy. I really like this. So he sees D'Lo Brown and then he finds out that no, he was actually hired as a production assistant and he's told to go get them coffee.
The managers meeting, how they're just like, it feels like they're a bit self-aware with this promo saying like, oh, what should we do, a reverse Royal Rumble? Like, no, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was Johnny Impact's voice too. Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm fairly sure. I don't know for sure. It might have been Scott Del More. I know he's done the voices a couple of times. It's normally Scott Del More and Don Callis, but a bunch of people have pointed out, like, Don Callis, we hear you on commentary all the time. We know your fucking voice, dude. Like, it's because then on commentary, Don Callis will be like, oh, those management guys really gave it to him. And it's a bit on the nose, but it's like, we know it's you, dude.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast, B+ players, but I just need to take a second to tell you about Threadbox. Threadbox is a subscription service for men that makes looking good easier than ever before. Just fill out a few questions to start building your style profile, and from there you will be paired with a stylist who will send you new threads once a month, so you don't have to worry about checking the stores and finding new clothes. It's like having a personal shopper and stylist at your fingertips, and you just sit back, relax, wait for your awesome new gear to arrive in the mail. They sent me a box this month. I got a new pair of jeans. I got 2 shirts. You can check out the unboxing video on the Facebook page. And the best part about it is you can get in touch with your stylist by email at any time. So if you need new singlets, if you need new long sleeves, if you need new shoes, if there's something specific you want, you just let them know what you need and they'll tailor the box to your specific requests. It's a completely personalized service available on any budget. You'll always get way more value than you pay for because Threadbox work with all the best brands. Boxes start from just $40, and if you use our code, the B+15 at checkout today, you're going to get 15% off your first box. So what are you waiting for, man? Like, if you want to look better with less effort, head to threadbox.com.au and use the code the B+15 to get your box today. Hey guys, before we get started, I just wanted to take a second to tell you about the Muscle Hustle. It is a super fun grappling related game that you can get on your mobile device that allows you to collect, train, and promote a completely original roster of wrestlers. And they all have unique abilities that you can combine and train up and equip new gear and You build a team of these guys to take on other teams and challenge for championships. It's really, really fun. There's also PvP stuff. I haven't even touched that yet. Like, I'm just having so much fun with the single player stuff. There's a whole campaign where you go around all the different territories trying to win the world titles. Really, really fun game to play. And just because you listen to the B+, the great guys and girls over at the Muscle Hustle app are going to give you some fantastic rewards. So if you enter in the code the B+ when you play from the promo code in the settings menu, you're going to get 25 gold to go towards building up your team and training your team. It's going to give you a leg up against the competition. So click the link in the show notes, download the app, enter the code the B+, and I'll see you in the ring. Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, Outbreak Nutrition. Outbreak Nutrition are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at Outbreak Nutrition. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out outbreaknutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, outbreaknutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout.
I will say before we continue on, I wanted to ask you, in terms of like the management, because I've noticed like the past couple of weeks, wrestlers have just been able to make matches on a whim. Like who exactly?
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. Like, say, is there like a certain figure, or is there someone who's in charge?
No, everyone can make matches. Sometimes the commentary makes matches. Sometimes it's all over the place. It's really all over the place. Like Don Callis. Don Callis quite often talks about, Impact Management have decided this, or Impact Management are doing that. But then last week he just comes out and he's like, I went and hired Glenn Gilberti. And it's like, well, what authority do you have to hire someone in Impact? Can anyone just, like, can Scarlett's fucking assistant Bobo just hire someone new for Impact? It's very loosey-goosey around Anthem, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess the Owl is in charge.
Oh, God.
Again, I really enjoyed that, but we'll get to it. So Eddie Edwards and Eli Drake are backstage. Eli pitches being a tag team again, and Eddie says no. Eddie's not interested. He's got his tag team partner. He's talking about Kenny there, not Davey Richards, but people are still hoping for a Davey Richards comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where this story's going. Anyway, then Scarlett's backstage doing Scarlett things, and she's like, everyone's waiting for my debut, and next week I'm going to announce who my debut will be against. So it's not even that she's going to debut next week. I love the way they're stretching this out. I love the way they use Scarlett Bordeaux.
I didn't actually catch that, so that's actually pretty clever. All right.
Yeah. So you think she's going to say, I'm going to be in the ring next week, because we knew her debut is going to be in Vegas, but she's like, no, I'm going to go to the ring and announce who I'm going to face for my debut.
Mm-hmm.
She's an amazing character. Everything she does is gold. Then we move on. We get Tessa versus Delilah Doom. Tessa wins, lol. Delilah's pretty impressive, though.
Yes, she was. She did take control like early on, but just there's no competing with Tessa.
Yeah, no. Obviously, Tessa was always going to win this. She's on the path for her rematch. She wants her rematch
By any means necessary, like when she was yelling into the camera.
Yeah, I don't think she'll get it against Taya anytime soon, though, because Taya is also a fucking heel. I'm telling you, these guys are heels. They are weasels and cowards, and they make so many excuses, it's ridiculous. Like, here's the thing. Yep. If you are a babyface champion, and the heel says, hey, well, first off, okay, so Taya cheated to get the title.
Yeah.
Right? And then in the first rematch, she cheated as well to win the rematch. And so, Tessa's like, I'm going to get my rematch, Tessa's the fucking face here! But they try to play it off like Taya is the face and we're meant to cheer Taya. It makes no sense at all. And just, Taya being like, no, you're not going to get a rematch. No, a babyface says yes to a challenge.
Should be a fighting champion, without a doubt.
A babyface says yes to a challenge. Like, if Miz was challenging Daniel Bryan, well, I'm talking about, a year ago.
Yes.
If Miz was challenging Daniel Bryan would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
every time because he knows he can beat The Miz because The Miz is a clown.
Yeah.
Right? Even if Miz was cheating up the wazoo, he would be like, yeah, all right, man, I can overcome you. It's fine. Right? Whereas if Daniel Bryan was challenging Miz would have a million excuses as for why it can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he's the bad guy. If you are denying challenges and cheating to get your title, newsflash, you are the bad guy. People don't want to cheer you. I feel like Don Callis, it has to be deliberate, right?
I feel like the main event kind of made me feel like it is deliberate. Like I will say, last week it did left much to be desired, but I feel like it feels like it's going somewhere.
I keep holding out hope that it is, but it's been so long, man. You don't understand the struggle. You don't understand. And like, fans cry for long-term storytelling,
yes,
right? Absolutely, 100%. But not like this. The long-term storytelling still needs to be interesting. This has been so utterly boring. Like the main event scene, I was really high on Killer Cross, and it's just sort of, it's made me bored.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cage too. This whole storyline has killed Brian Cage because Brian Cage has done so many dumb things. Dumb things. Why are you teaming with Impact again, bruh? What are you doing? He's using you. You look like a freaking geek. Sorry. I get upset. So moving on.
Right.
Relevant. Cage says that he and Johnny can stick together because they go way back. You look like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. That's your wife right there. It's your beautiful woman, the mother of your child, interviewing you, and you're saying stupid things to her. There's no way you believe those things. Stop lying to your wife.
You see what Impact has done to him, guys? Like, this is why I needed to come on, just to help, bring him back on track.
It's breaking me. It really is breaking me.
I will say as well that we had the flashback to the last time that Impact and Lucha Underground, they had their match, so it just reminded me just how much I love Willie Mack. So they had LAX going up against Willie Mack and Killshot. Like that was
that show.
Yep.
That Lucha Underground Cross Impact show at WrestleMania weekend last year was the show that got me back into Impact.
Yep.
Yeah. So very, very good flashback. They've been doing flashbacks from that for a couple of weeks now because they're building to the second one, obviously. So
can the sequel match up? We will see.
I think it will. Then we get Akira, Hogan, and Jordan Grace offering themselves to Rosemary. Again, weird spot for Jordan Grace, but whatever. So Rosemary's like, this isn't your fight. Kira gets all fired up, gives an emotional speech about how it is definitely her fight because Ali is her best friend. And they're all best friends. I don't know what their obsession is with being best friends. This is wrestling. And you are not Trent Beretta and Chucky T. Rosemary says fine, but when Bunny's back on our side, you back off. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah,
I know Bunny is Ali. I know that.
Okay.
But why is she saying when she's back on our side, you back off? Like, is this like no, she's my friend and you can help me get her back, but she's my friend at the end of this? Like, what is this? This makes no sense.
Very possessive, yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess she's a demon, so possessive makes sense. Kira and, sorry, we just did that. Then we get Ethan Page versus Zachary Wentz.
Yep.
This was a really good match until they knocked over one of the NFL alumni guys, and they're apparently doing an angle with some NFL guy. Cool beans.
Yeah, obviously they got their partnership with the NFL alumni, like Las Vegas chapter or something to that effect, and they just want to, get them involved in some way. I feel like maybe this is part of the package.
Yeah, and it probably is part of their deal, and in which case, stop making stupid deals, bro. Like, no one cares about the people you bring on. Like, if you were bringing on, like, if Conor McGregor was in the fucking crowd getting pushed, sure. Yeah. That's gonna make every fucking headline everywhere ever, okay? But the last time they did this, it was with people who were on Survivor with Johnny Impact, right?
Okay.
And they weren't even the people who won.
They were just contestants? Okay.
Just contestants, just losers from Survivor in the crowd. And they helped Johnny Impact win the title because he's a fucking heel. And then nothing came of it. There was maybe like one headline on like E-Weekly, the like B brand site, you know? There's like 3 30-year-old women were like, oh, I'm going to watch this clip on YouTube because I remember seeing them on Survivor. Like, no. None of this is good. And this NFL guy, like, it's not even like, if it was like Clay Matthews, right? or like Brett Favre, right? Because it's the Hall of Famers, right? If they had Brett Favre there, like sure, but it's not. I didn't even catch the guy's fucking name.
No, I can't say.
He was an offensive lineman, I think, is what they said.
Like us over here in Australia, like you need a bit more cross promotion if you're gonna broadcast Impact or wider audience with if you're gonna pick your celebrities like that.
Yeah, it was confusing to me. Anyway, Glenn Gilberti he runs into Tommy Dreamer backstage.
Yeah.
Sorry, we should say Zachary Wentz won the match, which is nice, but he only won the match because of the NFL guy, and I still think the Rascals are doomed. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, Glenn Gilberti, another Glenn Gilberti segment. These were the highlight of the show for me. I really enjoyed these. He runs into Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy's like, "Yeah, I'm head of talent relations," and he's like, "Oh, so I can't be that either." And he's like, "Oh no, but I do need you to talk to someone. You got to get in there." And he goes into the room, and it's an owl. And then Tommy Dreamer explains to him, "Yeah, that's the Anthem owl, dude. Like he's the owl for Anthem," which is like their logo, and it's hilarious to me.
He's seen some shit. He's done some things.
Just in canon now, to me, it's the owl that calls all the shots. 100%.
Yeah.
When they say impact management, they're talking about that fucking owl. This is great. Then we get a promo video for Ace Austin, Gambit Man, with the cards and the stuff. Then we see the Sami Callihan explains his side of the story, which was stuff we've all heard already.
Have you? Okay, yep.
Yeah, he's just like, I saved his life, and his parents were gone, and I was his family. Now it's time for him to come home to OVE. Yeah, he said all this, so I don't know why they were pumping it up as if we're going to hear something new, you know?
Okay, so this is my first time coming into it, so I thought it was pretty deep, but if it's been said like for weeks
no, it was
now,
good.
yeah.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a really good story. If they had that story beat and then moved on to another story beat, as opposed to repeating that story beat 4 times. Last week they made a little bit of forward movement because the whole thing has been join the family, and Rich being like, no. And they're like, join the family. No. Join the family. No. I saved your life. Join the family. No. And then he's in hospital, and he was like, when the nurse came in and said the whole, you know, you gotta
only have family.
You gotta get out of here. Yeah, it's only family. And Rich Swan's like, he is family. And it was like really melodramatic, but it was awesome. Mm-hmm. Like that was forward movement. And then they just did a package of all the stuff that was being said already. It feels weird.
To me, like listening to it for the first time, it felt like they've kind of cemented the fact that, okay, he's going to be back and he's going to be officially part of OVE. Like, because if they keep repeating that, I agree, then that's going to be really pedantic and really stupid.
Yeah, at this point, he has to join OVE, and it'll give Willie Mack some more direction too, because then we can get Willie Mack facing off for the X Division title, right? Like, it's the best way for them to go, and it'll probably happen in 6 months' time. So it's like they're taking all the worst parts of Days of Our Lives, or Dragon Ball Z, if you're not an old woman, right? Where you can watch for 3 months. Like you can watch an episode, then not watch an episode for 3 months, and then watch an episode, and you'll get it because they're still in the same fucking place. That's what Impact do at the moment. It's awkward. Then we get the promo that I liked from Moose, basically saying that Johnny Impact is like the hot girl at the bar who like winks at you and has a drink with you and then just walks away.
Except he's not a hot girl.
Except he's not hot. And he's not a girl. Nailed it. He's nailed it. Johnny Impact's going around being like, I'll give you a title shot. I'll give you a title shot. Help me do this and I'll give you a title shot. And then he's weaseling out like a fucking weasel because he's a bad guy. Yeah. Sorry.
No.
The Johnny Impact thing is really sticking in my craw. And so I'm like, it's got to be deliberate. They're working me. That's the whole point, right? Yeah. They're working me. If he eventually reveals I was avoiding you this entire time, and he twirls his mustache, I'll be like, yes, I got worked. Like, I will love it. I will love it if that happens. Then LAX tell Conan that they did exactly what they should have done when they unmasked the dudes from the Lucha Brothers.
Yep.
And Conan says he's going to handle this, and then they're like, no, we're going to handle this as soon as Conan leaves. So, you know, more tension in the LAX family.
I feel like eventually, like, they're going to split from Conan, and then maybe he'll join the original LAX, or...
Yes, yeah, I thought that like a year ago.
Yeah, okay.
I'm telling you, man, all this stuff we've seen this all. We've seen all of this. LAX were doing some really, really interesting stuff a year ago, and it's just sort of
petered out a little
fizzled. It fizzled. It died out once they ran over a child.
All right. How much do I need to catch up on for that one?
That's a thing that happened in Impact. They ran over a child outside a gang party. Why was the child at the gang party? These are the questions you don't have to ask because wrestling isn't real. Anyway, moving on. We find out that we're going to get that Dark War next week, which is nice. I'm glad that they're not stretching this out for too long. Like, let's get some fucking payoff on this Rosemary shit. And then we get the main event. Killer Cross and Moose versus Johnny Cage and Impact. The end ultimately comes with a referee stoppage, but this was basically Moose and Cross just decimating these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was like towards the end of the match, like once Killer Cross hit Cage with the title, it was just like it got more and more like extreme from there, and it just it ended on a really good note.
Yeah, on its own, really enjoy this angle.
Yeah.
On its own, this show, this match, what they did, great.
Okay.
As part of the larger story, very frustrating. This could have been done 3 weeks ago, and we could be somewhere entirely interesting now. Because this has just been these 4 guys in the main events over and over again, which just exposes the fact that you don't have a very thick roster, right?
Yeah.
When you've got these same 4 guys in every main event for 3 months, you're exposing yourself.
I will say, just like from this first episode, like I can't tell you who else is in the heavyweight contendership because, like, maybe Callahan, but yeah, aside from him,
Callahan and Eddie Edwards could contend at any moment. Eli Drake, I feel like, could as well, especially because there's no uppercard title, like there's no intercontinental title. No. You know,
they had the Mountain, I believe, was it last time?
Let's not go there. So yeah, it's one of those things. Like, it's just the 4 of them. That's the main event scene, and they've been beating us to death with this Johnny Impact shit, and trying. It's not good, and Brian Cage has suffered because of it. Like I said, and the whole thing has just been bad. Like Brian Cage doing the whole "I'm bleeding so much that I pass out and I don't tap out." That's always cool. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone's, it's just trying to do the Austin spot. You know why they try to do it? Because it's a fucking good spot.
And like
great
even
spot.
Moose adding to that, like, "You're not a man, you're a machine," as he's like punching the crap out of him. Just like they're
So like they're trying to make Brian Cage look strong again, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say about the main event scene that I haven't said every week.
Okay.
I don't want to sound like Impact.
Yeah, no. And by the way, with his whole like injury, or like I'm trying to pinpoint where exactly it started. So if did you do like a leg drop, and then all of a sudden like he's complaining about his neck, and then just kind of went from there. I was trying to focus on it. Yeah.
Well, they lifted him up, and he hit the not the turnbuckle, the post, right? That was where it started.
Okay.
So I don't know if they want us to think maybe he was concussed. I don't know. It was, so Johnny Impact was useless. He's got to be the heel, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be.
Obviously, like, he did, Brian Cage didn't help Impact get rid of Moose and Killer Cross, so he's not going to have a championship spot, so he's weaseled his way out of that one if they keep it going next week. And
That's what I predicted last week too. I'm like, he's probably just going to, he'll get the pin. And in that freaking contract he had Brian Cage signed, it says that he has to be the one that gets the pin if he wants to get a title match or something real weaselly like that. With his lawyers, because he's a Hollywood guy and his Hollywood lawyers drafted this up. Like, if that's the way they go, cool, I'm there for it. If it ultimately leads to Brian Cage just kicking some freaking ass and getting that title, which is a good story. That's a good story, but it's taking too long and not without enough interesting things happening. Because you got to have interesting points along the way.
Yes, you do.
And they haven't. This was interesting enough, I'd say. But that's why I said this could have happened 3 weeks ago, though. So you're in for a ride, man, and I'm glad to have you along. It's going to be good to see as you've watched more of it how fleshed out your opinion becomes and what you're thinking. But in the meantime, where can people find you online, my brother?
They can find me at Mr. Mysterious with a 1 and 7 I on all the socials: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Get me up, guys. How about yourself?
I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe. Like I said, hit up the Patreon if you want to get some extra stuff and help us out. Of course, all that money goes to exposing the Australian scene as much as we can through what we do here and sort of making what we do here better. So that's the best way to support us. Of course, you can check out our sponsors as well. 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.
See you later, guys.
Hold one. Arm drag. You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon. You just made the list. Oh my God.
So, now speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy. Hold three. The moss covered. Three-handle family Granunzo. Mamma mia! It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin! Number 4, armbar!